Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Donovan, and today we're going to take a look at a brand new smartwatch from Alfawise. This is the Alfawise KW88 Pro. It's available right now on GearBest.com, as you can see right down here, for $97. And actually, a little bit earlier, they had a $3 off coupon any purchase over $50, which is still there. So you can get it for actually under $95. And I think once you see everything that this thing has to offer, $95 is going to seem like a pretty darn good deal, especially when compared to some other smartwatches that I have. This thing actually offers a ton. So this is an Android 7.0 watch, so it's not an Android Wear OS watch. This is running actual Android, so it can actually get any app that you would get on an Android smartphone basically is available here, so like Spotify, Strava, and you can get any. So there, it does have the full Google Play Store, so if I go in there, you can see that it will run actually the full Google Play Store. Now right now it's kind of throwing it into square mode, so if I hold this button down, it will just show you that you can also have it fill the screen as well. So there it is. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the specs here for a moment. So specs wise, you can see we have Android 7.0, we have 1 gig of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage. Now I will point out here that it is a 3G watch, so there are some 4G watches out there right now. In fact, I've tested a couple of them, like the Lim 7, and that one did actually get 4G on T-Mobile, whereas this one I'm only able to get 2G with T-Mobile, so just a heads up there. So 16 gigs of internal storage, a 1.39-inch AMOLED display, so that's 400 by 400 pixel density. We have a MediaTek 6580 quad-core processor clocked at 1.3 gigahertz. We have GPS. We also have GLONASS, which it doesn't mention here, so that's just another GPS signal. We also have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, pedometer, and a heart rate monitor. And one other thing they don't mention here in the specs is it also has a 350 milliamp hour battery. And we'll talk more about that battery life here in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and take a look around the watch itself. First, get it into focus there. All right, so you can see obviously right now I'm in Google Play, so there's just one hardware button here. Then we also have a 2 megapixel camera, so kind of weird. A lot of these Android smartwatches come with cameras, sometimes even higher resolution than what you get here. In fact, there's a new one called the Cosmet Hope, which is I think $140. That one actually has an 8 megapixel camera, which is pretty crazy for a smartwatch. So right here is where you're going to put your nano SIM card. So you can see I actually removed this screw just so I could show you pretty quickly and easily where it goes. Looks like it's not going to pop off very easily, but there is a little rubber gasket in there, so that is going to keep it a little bit more water resistant, but this one is not waterproof by any means. We have a heart rate monitor there, and then we also have our pins there for this guy, which is our charger. So you can see it won't go on this way, but if I turn it around, it will lock in. Actually, it looks like it goes that way. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's how it goes. We do have our speaker over here as well, and then on this side, we have our microphone right down there below the camera. So we have a speaker and a microphone, so yeah, you can use this for phone calls. Also, you can use it for Google searching as well. We're going to go ahead and get out of that before I touch too many things there. All right, so that's a quick look around the hardware. I do also want to mention here that the bands are non-removable, and that's because, as you can see right here, these two little pieces here indicate that there are some kind of signals in here. Typically, that's where they would put GPS in these watches that don't have removable bands. So just a quick heads up there. You cannot remove the bands. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. So now taking a look at the watch again, we have a 1.39-inch display. I do really like the look of this watch, personally. It's just, it doesn't feel too big. It's not super bulky like some watches can be, especially smartwatches. This one does not feel that way at all. But let's just go ahead and take a look around the software here. So this is, of course, the main screen. This is your watch face, and we can hold long, press down, and we can kind of navigate through a bunch of different watch faces. We can also change the watch faces there on the smartphone app as well, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. But let's just go ahead and pick a quick one here. So this one's just obviously going to show you digital time and date and then step counter there. So then if I pull from the top, There we go. All right, so that's going to get us into our shortcuts. So this one right here that I have on right now, I'll go ahead and turn the screen off. So that one's going to allow it to flip the wrist to turn back on. So that's what that one does. But then we also have airplane mode, of course, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. There's our GPS. So right now I have location turned off. This is only going to be used if we actually have a SIM card in there. So you can see that when I put it in there, it says please insert SIM, and that's just so it's automatically updating. We have our airplane mode, which I already mentioned. This is our do not disturb, and this is just going to adjust our brightness on the screen. So maybe we'll just leave it bright like that. If I swipe over, I can go ahead and kill all the apps here. That's the little broom for cleaning the apps out. This is for music. So right now I don't have any music actually downloaded onto the watch, but you can also use it for Google Play, or I believe it's QQ Music is the other one you can use it for. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for Spotify. The volume will still work for Spotify, but the power or the play button and the track forward, track backward won't work for Spotify. Just a heads up there. And then we have our weather. So we'll go back down. So that's up from the top. So those are just a bunch of quick settings here in the top, or shortcuts I should say, in the top. If I scroll over from the left, you can see that's where our notifications will come in. Right now I don't have any. And then scroll up from the bottom, and this is where we're going to get all of our most recent workout information. So I think the day actually just started. Well, no, actually it's still 11:41. So obviously I wasn't wearing the watch today because I took more than 6 steps obviously today. And then a scroll over from the right, this is where we're going to get into all of our apps. So this is basically our app drawer here. So we'll kind of go through them real quickly, but we have contacts, of course our phone, that's going to be our dialer. We have our text messages, the messaging app. We have our settings, which we should probably take a look at real quick. So we can adjust the sound here, display. We can adjust how the apps look. So if I click in here, we can do arc or round. I'm not going to take a look because they're really not all that different. We have our connections here. So this is where we're going to connect up to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. We can also use it as a Wi-Fi hotspot technically. And then we can turn GPS on and off there as well. And you can see if I pull over from the left when I'm in one of these menus, it will also act as a back button or back option. Then we have a couple of gestures here, so screen on when raising and pedometer. Power saving mode, languages, date and time, reset, uninstall applications, and there's a few other ones in there as well. So those are our settings. We have an internet browser, and of course you can download Chrome as well. We have a download folder, calendar. Now this calendar here is honestly not super useful. Literally it's just like a calendar. It's not like an actual schedule things on there. You can get the Google Calendar on here though if you want, so that's obviously an option. We have a clock, so that's where we're going to set our alarms. We have the camera, so I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. The camera is honestly not super useful and maybe even a little bit creepy, but you can see you can take some pictures. Obviously you can do some videos as well. Don't just take it into any kind of locker room or anything like that. Don't be that guy. All right, so we have our gallery. We have some music. So if I had some music actually on the watch, we could put it in into that folder. I just use Spotify on the watch, so I'm not really using the music app on here. We have a sound recorder, file manager, heart rate monitor. So of course that's going to use that heart rate monitor. So you can see it's going to go ahead and use those optical LEDs down there for heart rate monitoring. We have our weather, so you already saw the weather a little bit earlier, but this will give you a little bit more detailed look. So apparently, see, that means it's not connected, I believe, to my phone. So let me go into the phone. Okay, so it did connect right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the app there anyways. All right, so there is our weather, and I can come down here and update it, and then I can come down here and get some more detailed information for further into the future. We have a voice search, so of course that's going to be use our Google voice search. We have our full Play Store, maps, so you can use navigation here. Awesome. We do have a couple of assistants in here, so this is just assistance for the phone. So we can connect it to the phone with this. This is just going to bring up a QR code, and then we can have remote capture. So I can use this as basically a remote capture for my phone, so basically as a shutter. And then I have here Spotify and Strava. So why I have Spotify here, I just wanted to mention or just play a quick song so you guys could hear it. See if I can get in there. There we go. All right. So it's actually not that bad. You could definitely use this for a speakerphone for phone calls without a question there. Obviously, it's going to be a little awkward having a conversation in public, but that is an option. So when I hit back, this is going to actually take me into my notifications. So that's why it's bringing it in there. So then when you have it in your notifications, you can see that there's a number of options here within Spotify. Within those notifications. And then we also have, I just downloaded these. So these are the two I downloaded. Everything else are ones that it come with. Of course, you could technically put games on here. If you were interested, you could put even like YouTube or Netflix on here. So if that's something that you want to do. Now, one thing I will mention here is that actually Strava works pretty good. So if you want to use this for workouts, of course, like I said, it has GPS in it. So Strava works out pretty well. Now notice here that it's cutting off some important parts of the screen. Like if I want to start a run, that's way over here in the corner. But if you want to adjust that, you can make it up here. You can change it to the Square app. And now we have it in, so it's a little bit easier to start recording an activity. So I can go ahead and hit that to record an activity. And so apparently, yeah, I don't have GPS turned on, so it's not going to even let me do it. But this is where I would start it. And then it actually looks pretty well in here. So if I go back to the circle, when I start an activity, it actually works pretty well here. So obviously right now it's not going to look great, but yeah, you can see it doesn't look too bad. So it obviously, Strava is not meant to go on a watch like this. This is not like Android Wear where it's actually designed to go on the watch, but it really doesn't look too bad here in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and hit that finish and we'll discard it. But anyway, so quick look at what Strava looks like on here. Not too bad at all. But I did want to mention a couple other things here. So if I hold down this button right over here, again, that's where I'm going to change it from square to full screen. And you will need to go to that square option in some apps because, again, they're not designed specifically for this watch. So for instance, the Google Play Store, it's a lot easier to use with the square version rather than the circle version so that you're not getting things cut off. We have our power off button here, our reboot, power save, and then our recent tasks. So power save is actually kind of useful because what that does is it basically just gives us the time and the date then at that point. So then when I flip my wrist up, let's see if it actually works when you're in power save mode. Apparently that won't work. So when I hit the button though, it will just bring up time and the power. So, and then I can hit that little X in order to get out of power save. I did also want to mention the app that it uses. So this is the WeWatch app. And right now it's going to be connecting. It'll show the battery here in just a second. But here we can adjust our watch faces as well. So you can see that that is right in here. So if I click on it, so it actually says it's not connected at the moment. So that's okay. We don't really need to go into it. But this would show our battery life. Also, it would be showing our steps here. And then we can adjust our watch faces here. And then right up here we have our step count, so we can choose to whether it's actually going to do that, and then we can set our step count, I should say. We can look up device, so that will actually like make it so that the watch will ring. Then we have our music controls, and again I said you have Google Play Music or QQ Music, and I'm not really sure what QQ Music is, but that is the only option. So again, Spotify, I can only adjust the volume. I can't adjust the play or track forward, track backward there. Then we can send files from the phone to the watch, so that's nice. So like music or pictures or things like that. We can have our raise screen, silent mode, app notifications, so I can choose which apps get notifications in here. And again, it's not actually connected at the moment, so I actually have it so that all of them go to it apparently. And then we have a few other options here like software updates. But anyways, that's just a quick look at the watch app. Alright, so that was a quick first look at the Alfawise KW88 Pro. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. For under $100, is this a watch that you would consider picking up? Now, keep in mind that this will work with both Android and iOS devices, and it has a lot that you can do with it. It's basically a full-blown smartphone, but in watch form. So pretty interesting. There are definitely some limitations with this one. Only 3G, obviously no removable bands. The small-ish battery at 350 milliamp hours is definitely maybe just a slight negative here. But overall, this has a lot to offer for under $100. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.